And tough loss to take there. How does it feel?
Exactly that. Tough. You know, I don't think we deserved to lose again. It wasn't the greatest spectacle, I have to say. I think to lose, it's really harsh on us. You know, but they're a difficult team to play against. You know, they slow the game down. You need the referee to get the game going, and he didn't. You know, the keeper for me is probably the best time waster in the league, and he gets away with it game after game. And when they go in front, it's really hard. You know, especially when your game is about possession and intensity and tempo, and it's really difficult to inject that into your play with any kind of rhythm when the game's just forever being broken up and stopped, and every time, you know, there's a foul, it takes forever to get up. And so it was tough. It's a tough game for us to play in. But saying that, I think, you know, we reduced them to very, very few opportunities. You know, Chris had nothing to do. And we should have scored at least one goal, really. And you know, I think for the penalty that they've been given, where for me, I'll have to see it back, and I might be wrong, but, you know, going off first instincts, thought he went down incredibly soft. You know, you land on two knees. You know, it's how my kids land when you're playing with them. You know, it just suggests he's gone down far too easily, and you couldn't hear any kind of contact. But saying that, you know, I think we gave the ball away cheap in the lead up to it. The lads skipped through two players, and you just can't do that. But for how soft their penalty was, I felt we had two or three really good shouts, and just today they weren't given. So you know, frustrating game, frustrating. Must have been a frustrating watch, and I think, you know, individually we didn't quite get to the same levels that we have been doing of late. So you know, really should have been probably a bore 0-0 draw, really, but we just formed the wrong side today, and, you know, it is what it is. You know, we weren't going to keep on winning games forever, just like when we had a bad run, we weren't going to keep on losing games forever. So it's just about dusting down and not feeling sorry for ourselves, and trying to, you know, get another run going again from Tuesday.
There were plenty of chances, like you were saying, despite the way that the game was being played out, a few from open play, and also those penalty shouts you alluded to there. What do you think was missing slightly from today's performance compared to when we went to any Impact Arena and saw them and won 2-1?
Well, I think the game at their place was very similar in a way, because it was a boring game. You know, there were very few chances, slow game. You know, set plays, second balls, a lot of fouls. You know, the game broken up on many of occasions, and, you know, we on that day we just, you know, we scored two very good goals. You know, today we created, you know, a handful of opportunities, and we just haven't managed to take them. I think Hayden had an unbelievable chance. I think the keeper's made a top save. You know, Spids hit the bar there at the end. Jimmy had a good chance in the first half where he brought it down and didn't quite get enough on it to put it over the goalkeeper. You know, they're just off the top of my head. But you know, we can't be too critical, because I think I said to the players before the game, you know, out of Pearsy, Hanks, Jimmy and Hayden, I think they've scored 17 goals in the last 10 games coming into today, which has coincided with our good run of form, you know. So today we've just not, you know, it's important that when they can't quite take those chances, that we keep clean sheet, and obviously today we haven't quite managed to do that, although, and that's frustrating really, because we have kept them quiet in the main.
And just following on from that as well, the only goal that was conceded was from a penalty. Does it still instill you with some confidence defensively, as in open play the threat was reasonably being dealt with? Yeah,
I mean, Reed's a real handful. I thought we managed him a lot better in the away game than we did today. I thought he caused a lot more problems today. I think, you know, one or two in the back line for us today weren't at the same levels that they have been in recent games, it's fair to say. But, you know, in the main, I felt we were pretty solid, and, you know, I can't remember Chris having a save to make, and that's, you know, what's really frustrating about not winning the game. You know, not about losing the game and not getting a result, because, you know, again, you know, he's had very little to do, and I felt we had quite good control, quite a lot of possession, managed to carve out a handful of opportunities against a, you know, very disciplined and organised and experienced team. So. Listen, we're not going to dwell on it. We've been in this situation before. It's just about bouncing back now.
Towards the back end of that game, we saw Will Hayhurst come on as a substitute for Finn Armstrong, as opposed to the typical Jordan Richards for Craig Mann. What was the thinking behind that?
Finn got a knock on his calf in the first half, and we just kept him out there. I think it might have hindered him a little bit, because usually he's bombing forward and getting into quite advanced positions, putting balls across the box. He didn't quite manage to do that today. So whether he was maybe feeling it a little bit, of protecting himself a little bit. So and Will's, I think Will's just had an overload issue where he's not quite been right for a couple of weeks, and obviously because the team's been performing quite well, we've been given that opportunity to rest him, but. It's good for us to have Will back available, because he's a good player and he's done incredibly well for us this season, and he's going to be important for us between now and the end of the season, that's for sure.
Absolutely. To finish off then, Kettering away on Tuesday. Are you confident in the side that you're going to be able to bounce back in short succession against a struggling team?
Absolutely, yeah. We just said to the players then, we're a decent side. We've got good players. We've been in a really good run. And today it's come to an end, but we've got another game in 2-3 days time, so we've got to be ready to go again, and the challenge now is, can we win the next game and start another run? So there's absolutely no reason why we can't do that. It's going to be tough at Kettering, as it always is. I think their home form's been quite good. I think the pitch is probably the worst in the league, and it's a leveller for sure, but that's the challenge of this division. You've got to be adaptable, and you've got to deal with everything that's thrown at you. And I'm sure that we will.
Great, thank you for your time.
Thank you.